Energy efficiency and climate change. This is the topic of discuss today. Energy and environment. Environmental problems are closely related since it is nearly impossible to produce, transport, or consume energy without significant environmental impact. The environmental problems related to energy production and consumption are air pollution, water pollution, thermal pollution, and solid waste disposal. The emission from fossil fuel combustion is the major cause of urban air pollution. In all petroleum handling operations, oil spilling pollute earth and water body. Mining can also pollute environment. Mining requires removal of large quantities of earth and coals. Energy impact assessment should compare these costs with the benefit to derive from energy use. This cost means here environmental cost. Environmental cost will be compared with benefits derived from energy use. Air pollution. The usage of energy resources in industry leads to environmental damages by polluting the atmosphere, that is air pollution. Few examples of air pollution are sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, carbon monoxide, and emissions from boilers and furnaces, CFC from refrigerants use. These are the main air pollutant. In chemical and fertilizer industries, toxic gases may release to atmosphere which will pollute air. Cement plants and power plants will emit lot of particulate matter to atmosphere and hence air pollution. Climate change. Climate change, also called global warming, refers to long-term fluctuations in temperature, precipitation, wind, and other elements of the Earth's climate system. Energy use has attracted huge attention in present times due to its associated global climatic impact. Increasing fossil fuel use has led to increasing carbon dioxide emissions, leading to the greenhouse effect and global warming. The heating up of Earth's atmosphere due to trapping of long-wave radiations by carbon dioxide layer in the atmosphere is called greenhouse effect. Plant respiration and the decomposition of organic matter release carbon dioxide. CFCs, even though they exist in very small quantities, are significant contributors to global warming. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. The UNFCCC was opened for signature at the UN Conference on Environment and Development, the Earth Summit, that is called Earth Summit, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in June 1992 and entered into force in March 1994. The convention sets an ultimate objective of stabilizing atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases at safe levels. Such levels should be achieved within a time frame sufficient to allow ecosystems to adapt naturally to climate change, to ensure that food production is not threatened. To achieve this objective, all countries have a general commitment to address climate change, adapt to its effects, and report their actions to implement the convention. As of December 2001, the convention currently has received 186 instruments of ratification. The convention divides countries into two groups. One is called Annex I, and that is non-Annex I. Annex I parties, the industrialized countries who have historically contributed the most to climate change. Non-Annex I parties, which includes primarily developing countries. Annex I parties to take the lead role in returning their greenhouse gas emission to 1990 level by year 2000. They must also submit regular reports known as national communications detailing their climate change policies and programs, as well as annual inventories of their greenhouse gas emission. Kyoto Protocol was adopted in December 1997. The protocol creates legally binding obligations for 38 industrialized countries to return their emissions of greenhouse gas to 5% below their 1990 levels over the period 2008 to 2012. The targets cover the 6 main greenhouse gases: carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, HFCs, PFCs, and sulfur hexafluoride. The protocol also allows these countries to option of deciding which of the 6 gases will form a part of their national emission reduction strategy. Some activities such as deforestation and reforestation that emit or absorb carbon dioxide to and from the atmosphere are also covered in Kyoto Protocol. At 2012 United Nations Climate Change Conference, there was an agreement to extend the life of Kyoto Protocol until 2020. To date, there are 192 parties, 191 states, and EU, that is European Union, that has ratified the protocol. Clean Development Mechanism. 3 cooperative mechanisms are designed to help industrialized countries, that is Annex I countries, to reduce the cost of meeting their emission targets. International emission reduction, that is international emission trading, that is carbon trading. Implementation allows countries to claim credit for emission reductions that arise from investment in other industrialized countries, which result in a transfer of equivalent emission reduction units between the countries. One is Clean Development Mechanism, allows emission reduction projects that assist in creating sustainable development in developing countries to generate certified emission reductions for use by the investor. The difference between joint implementation and clean development mechanism is, the main thing is joint implementation. One industrialized country will invest to another industrialized country. But in case of CDM, clean development mechanism, one industrialized country will invest in another developing country. Clean development mechanism projects allows companies or business in Annex I countries to invest in projects that reduce greenhouse gas in non-Annex I countries and contribute sustainable development. By investing in non-Annex I countries, investors from Annex I countries can earn CER, that is certified emission reductions, that can be used to meet greenhouse gas reduction under the Kyoto Protocol. It helps to mitigate climate change, helps to achieve sustainable development and emission reduction commitments to non-Annex I countries. Sustainable development. In the year 1987, the World Commission on Environment and Development is introduced the term sustainable development in its report. It is defined as sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development is based on two fundamental concepts. The first concept considers Earth's carrying capacity and stresses on natural resources like forest, soil, fertility, healthy wetlands, ozone layer, etc., which provide basic requirements for human being. The second concept focuses on balancing of economical, social and ecological goals, which include the basic needs like health, literacy, democratic values, etc. Both the concepts are concerned with quality of life and conservation of environment.